Lewis Hamilton's legacy is in jeopardy. Felipe Massa is now making moves to steal back the championship title he thinks he deserves from the 7-time world champion. Should the former Brazilian F1 driver succeed, we might have to start referring to Sir Lewis as a 6-time world champion. After Bernie Ecclestone's comments in April, suggesting that Massa was unfairly denied the 2008 championship due to the Crashgate incident in Singapore, which if you can remember, saw Massa in the lead before the mishap, he decided to explore his potential legal avenues. During the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, Massa, who was initially leading the race, ended up finishing outside the points due to an incident. This occurred when Renault's driver, Nelson Piquet Jr., was allegedly instructed to deliberately crash out of the race, with the intention of aiding his teammate Fernando Alonso's prospects. Adding to Massa's woes, a mishandled pit stop by Ferrari played a part, as he inadvertently carried the fuel hose along the pit lane. But the consequences of these events had significant implications in the championship race. Lewis Hamilton made history by clinching the World Championship in a dramatic fashion, with the last lap overtaking maneuver during the season's final race at Interlagos. For those of you who missed Ecclestone's comments about Crashgate, here's what he said. According to the statutes, we should have cancelled the race in Singapore under these conditions. That means it would never have happened for the World Championship standings. Then Felipe Massa would have become world champion and not Lewis Hamilton. I still feel sorry for Massa today. He won the final at his home race in Sao Paulo and did everything right. He was cheated out of the title he deserved while Hamilton had all the luck in the world and won his first championship. Today, I would have arranged things differently. Just recently, on Thursday, there's news that he went ahead and sent a preliminary legal notice, often referred to as a letter before claim, to both FOM and the FIA. According to lawyers representing Massa, as reported by Reuters, they've stated in the letter that he might have missed out on earning tens of millions of euros. This potential loss is attributed to the added prestige and benefits that come with the title of a world champion. Their letter reads, "Simply put, Mr. Massa is the rightful 2008 Drivers' Champion, and F1 and FIA deliberately ignored the misconduct that cheated him out of that title. Mr. Massa is unable to fully quantify his losses at this stage, but estimates that they are likely to exceed tens of millions of euros. This amount does not cover the serious moral and reputational losses suffered by Mr. Massa." After taking note of Ecclestone's comments, Massa's legal team further emphasized that Mr. Massa was the victim of a conspiracy committed by individuals at the highest level of F1, together with the FIA and Formula One management. With all this going on, Lewis Hamilton might be too busy to fight it, given that he is fighting a war of his own. Lewis Hamilton's actions have spurred an FIA inquiry into the language employed within F1's rulebooks. The Mercedes star openly expressed his concerns, citing inclusivity reasons about the frequent use of male gender pronouns. At 38 years old, he, along with Sebastian Vettel, have been at the forefront of driving change and promoting activism within F1. They've effectively utilized their platform to raise awareness about matters they deeply care about, including environmental sustainability, combating racism, and advocating for LGBT equality. While Hamilton's perspectives are widely regarded as forward-thinking and commendable, they have ignited discussions within the F1 community. The British driver has frequently found himself in situations where his views clashed with the rulebook. This has been evident through instances like his display of politically charged statements on the grid, or his various encounters with FIA officials concerning his choice of jewelry. In his most recent remarks, Hamilton directly tackled the issue of the male-dominated landscape that characterizes the FIA boardrooms. When asked about the lack of female or gender-neutral pronouns in the rulebook, he responded by saying, "It doesn't surprise me. It is only men in that room, and it has been since I've been here. There has not been enough importance on changing, probably. Maybe there is another side, but definitely not encouraging to hear that." At the core of the matter under consideration is the utilization of the pronoun he within the rulebook. Unlike other racing series that incorporate the term rider to encompass both male and female drivers, the existing wording in FIA's regulations continues to imply the participation of exclusively male racers in their sanctioned events. On a positive note for Hamilton, it seems that this concern is receiving attention from the FIA. According to a statement made to Racing News 365 by an FIA representative, they clarified that The FIA statutes are prefaced by a statement that terms referring to any person are applicable to both genders, and this topic is currently under internal review. As of now, the F1 grid does not feature any female drivers, but the achievements of individuals like Jamie Chadwick and Sophie Flörsch in the junior categories have drawn attention to the remarkable women who are making strides in the feeder series ranks at this moment. The W Series, which had received vocal support from Hamiton, faced financial challenges earlier this year and subsequently went into bankruptcy. Nonetheless, the emergence of the F1 Academy is set to alleviate this gap and offer a pathway for female drivers to advance into Formula 3, Formula 2, and potentially ascend to the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula 1. In other news, Christian Horner doesn't owe an apology to Mercedes for Red Bull's dominant performance in this year's championship. He says that they endured their fair share of challenges as the Silver Arrows enjoyed a 7-year winning streak. From 2014 to 2020, Mercedes established themselves as the prevailing presence, claiming every championship title during that period. This supremacy was established as the sport adopted a brand new set of V6 hybrid engines. While Red Bull won races in all but one of those seasons, their performance in terms of constructor standings was limited, achieving a best result of second place. Their position in the driver's standings also reached a peak of third, but a shift happened when Max Verstappen emerged as a force in 2021. In that particular season, Max Verstappen engaged in a head-to-head battle with Lewis Hamilton for the World Championship title. These two main contenders went head-to-head in close racing, with the Dutch driver ultimately emerging victorious in the season finale. His journey to a second title in 2022 was smoother, coinciding with the inaugural year of F1's new ground effect aerodynamic era. In the current season, Verstappen's dominance continues, having achieved 10 victories. With the team securing 12 wins out of 12 races so far, Red Bull is confidently heading towards achieving a consecutive championship double. Horner has no pity to give the Silver Arrows. During a conversation with ESPN, he expressed his thoughts on Mercedes' dominant era, saying, "I mean, 7 long years is a long time. You get less for crimes. We had to wait to get back into a competitive position, and we have to do a lot of watching of a lot of Mercedes winning, and so on, you know? But we never lost sight of our target. We were still winning races. Pretty much every single year we still won races, so we never lost that target. It was just about putting the missing pieces into place, and then once we got a competitive power unit, bang, we were able to go toe-to-toe with Mercedes, so they were lucky they had it easy all of those years when they were running one-legged." Having secured 13 consecutive wins since the 2022 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Red Bull achieved a remarkable feat by surpassing McLaren's record from 1988 for the most consecutive wins. This achievement was highlighted when they broke the record at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Horner mentioned that this accomplishment was unexpected for the team when the car completed its initial laps during pre-season testing. "I don't think any of us thought that the car we had was actually as potent as that. We could see from the race rounds that we looked competitive. The Aston looked like it was the closest to us, and the Mercedes didn't look in great shape. They pioneered on with their concept, so we could only really tell our own performance, and of course having been in Bahrain the previous year and losing out with reliability issues, we were determined to put that right. I think you've got to be in the here and now, in every session, every qualifying, every race, and just take it one at a time. That's been our approach, and that's been our mantra so far this season, and that's what we do. There's so many variables that can go wrong. It's just focusing on the things that you can control, reacting to the conditions, making sure that we're reliable and as competitive as we can be with the car." What do you think? Who really deserves the 2008 F1 Championship? And should the F1 rulebook be more gender inclusive? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the hottest F1 news.